Let everyone be on silent. It will be nice to have that as we embark on this exciting time. And I wish you all a very fruitful celebration and enjoy your time. Thank you. So I'm handing over to my colleague Tanya Moodley online. Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Tanya, can you hear me? So, Tanya, you can take over. I have done the welcome. Sorry, I didn't know the online audience were very there.
Okay, thank you so much, Siobhan. Welcome everyone to our event, and definitely to those who have been who have joined us online. We're very glad that you were able to join us today. We have quite a few things lined up today that we are going to be taking you through. So thank you, Siobhan, for welcoming us. For those who don't know me, my name is Tanya Moodley, and I'm the head of marketing for Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm going to be sharing a quick overview of the company with you. Then we're going to hear from Henry Gray, who is a specialist on Quickbayt, who's going to be taking us through a technical presentation. We will have a sales manager for SSA, and she will close the meeting, giving all of you in the room an opportunity to take some photos and really enjoy the company of your peers. So I'm going to kick off the session today. As I said, my name is Tanya. I'm the head of marketing for Sub-Saharan Africa. And I joined Envu last year. It's been a really great and amazing experience. I think I had the fortune of meeting some of you in online meetings, and hopefully we will meet soon face-to-face as well. Ajala, can you please play the video for us? While we're waiting for Ajala to get the video going, maybe I will just give an introduction of who Envu is. I'm sure this is a question that you all have, or you may have had for Obong, as well as the rest of the team that you may have met in the last couple of months. So Envu was founded last year in 2022. We are a new company. However, we don't consider ourselves new in terms of experience. We have more than 50 years of experience in pest control management. Not just in Africa, but actually in key countries across the world. We are a global company. We have our headquarters in North Carolina in the United States of America. We really do focus on 3 key segments in Sub-Saharan Africa, professional pest management being a key one, and that's the reason why you are here with us today. Mosquito management is a very strategic segment and portfolio for Envu Sub-Saharan Africa. Specifically in the tender landscape and private. I know that some of you have been engaging with Obong in discussions around some private opportunities. We have a flagship brand in this area called Fedora Fusion. And vegetation management is an area that we focus on in South Africa. It's a very big segment for us. It's basically weed management along the roadsides, etc. And we do have some other segments around the world that we are not competing in SSA, but key opportunities for the future. And some of them are forestry, golf courses, and industrial lawn and landscape, as well as range and pasture. In every single area of our business, we really want to partner with you, our strategic partners We really want to understand what drives you, what drives the business, and how we can partner and solution together with you to bring the right products, the right solutions, the right offerings, not just for you, but also the customers that you service. In terms of our vision, we really believe that, we can work alongside nature. We believe that nature is a very strong force. However, we don't have to cause any harm or damage to nature. So we really are always looking for new ideas, new opportunities. And ideally, that is our vision. How do we work alongside nature in a more robust and efficient way going forward? And that is something that we think about when developing one of our products and definitely when bringing our new products to market. We really focus on the challenges that exist within Sub-Saharan Africa in the various countries that we operate in the segments that we operate in, because we believe that wherever there's a challenge, there are many solutions. So we're very happy to work with you and listen, more from you, so that we can partner with you on this journey. And ultimately, we are here to really bring a healthier, pest-free environment, working alongside the environment, as I mentioned earlier on, and ultimately to really protect the people against pest-related threats that exist in Sub-Saharan Africa, in a residential setting, in a business setting, and in a public setting as well. So what can you expect from us as an Envu team? You can expect from us product solutions like the launch that we are bringing to you today. You can also expect from us customer-driven solutions. We are here to hear from you. We are here to partner with you on this journey and really to co-create, what the success of Quickbayt will look like in the market in the next coming months. And really, again, is to understand your customers that you serve, to understand their needs, and to partner with you to come up with some of these joint solutions that really offers a great experience along the customer journey. So with that in mind, I think we'll hand over to Obong and Elijah just to play a short intro silver video on Envu.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Thanks for that warm opening and enlightening session of what Envu is all about. You've spoken well of what we embody ourselves and what we pride ourselves to do as Envu. Now, Ajala is behind the screen trying to put on the video so that people might have a feel of what we present and what we represent. Thank you. Video on, please. Okay, sorry, it's like we're having a technical issue here now, but the video will definitely come up. Tanya,
Thank you, Obong.
Okay.
Thank you, Obong. And thank you, Ajala, for helping support us in the ground as well. So just to continue on who is Envu and what we do, we have a footprint across many SSA countries. In many of the countries across Sub-Saharan Africa, we have agents and distributors that we partner with. And we have 5 key teams across 5 key countries. And, I'm based in South Africa, in Johannesburg. We have a team joining us online from Kenya. Welcome to our East African team who are currently in Kenya. And then we also have teams, well, thank you for you attending from West Africa, Nigeria. Then we also have a team in Ghana. Welcome to our Ghana team, as well as Cote d'Ivoire. So these are the key hubs that we have across SSA, but really we are servicing many other countries on the subcontinent. Our main country is South Africa, and the second key country that we have is Kenya. So those are the main hubs. And that's basically our Sub-Saharan African team. I've just highlighted the team members who are joining us on the call today from the various countries. Welcome to each and every one of you. I think the team have all played a very pivotal role in terms of bringing the product to market, making sure that it's available, making sure the right materials and promotional elements are available. But also today we have Henry Gray, who is our technical sales specialist based in South Africa, who is going to be taking us through the technical presentation. Sorry, I'm going to quickly just go through some notes that I've written for Henry. So Henry has a lot of experience in the industry. He has been at Envu for 8 years collectively, and he has a lot of experience working in TPM in the industry. And he has a lot of knowledge that he gained over this period of time. He has been working with some key customers. He's definitely an expert on Quickbayt. And Henry has also traveled across the globe, meeting with our key trainers, facilitators, and experts in leading countries, specifically in Europe, to understand the brands, to understand the application, to understand the environment. And he is going to be taking us through the specialist training on Quickbayt. So welcome, Henry. And thank you again, Umar, for inviting the full team and for arranging this session. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Henry.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It's an absolute privilege to be part of this great event, and I'm sure everybody is excited about the launch of Quickbayt in your country, and also probably keen to find out what can Quickbayt do for you and how can Quickbayt assist you in your flight control programs and the problems you're experiencing currently. So during my technical presentation, I'm going to firstly do an overview on Quickbayt, and then we're going to have a look at the application, where to apply it and how to apply this bait. And then of course safety is always key. We can just have a little bit look at how Quickbayt is a safe product to apply. And then just share a couple of efficacy results with you, field trials that we can just share with you. And then lastly, of course, probably the most important part, a flight control program and why it's necessary to have a flight control program. During the presentation, please make a couple of notes if you've got questions. We will be addressing a couple of these questions afterwards, depending on the time that we've got available. But yeah, please keep your questions for afterwards, and then we will try to sort through them as much as possible. So let's start. Let's get started. Next slide, please. And so we say we don't wave away flights because we can't control the problem. So it's important to have a good solution for your flies to effectively control them. And we will show you in this presentation. Hopefully you will find all the answers in this presentation. Okay, so if we look at the product information, Quickbayt Spray is a unique fly attractant, fast knockdown, and delivers long residual efficacy. It can be used as a spray on or a paint on application. Pack size is 24 sachets of 100 grams, and then you mix it with the water and then you can spray or paint it on. What does Quickbayt Spray do? Easily and effectively control houseflies in and around animal housings, poultry houses, dairy barns, piggeries, horse stables, and other livestock facilities. Just some key features and benefits of this. Product includes a mixture of an insecticide and fly 6 per month, low mammalian toxicity, contains a bittering agent to discourage accidental consumption by humans and non-target animals. So basically what that last sentence means is Quickbayt contains active ingredient called bitters. When you spray or paint on to an area and an animal or even itself a human accidentally lick this area, it will get a bitter taste in its mouth, and hopefully it won't continue to lick those areas. So it's just like a small safety net that was really built into Quickbayt. So if you look at the product properties, Quickbayt Spray is a sugar-based water dispersible granule formulation of immediate effect for application to lawn surfaces to control housefly populations in animal premises as well as garbage areas. So the active ingredient is imidacloprid. It's 100 grams per kilogram, and it also contains a attractant, which is a sex hormone, and it also contains flavoring, which is highly palatable for sucking and biting fly insects. As I mentioned, it contains abating agents, which to help to prevent accidental ingestion by people. The efficacy of Quickbayt spray is confirmed in many countries worldwide, and I'm sure the reputation of Quickbayt also exceeds itself. So, areas of use of application. So, in which environments and areas can you use Quickbayt? Firstly, your food handling plants, animal housings, refuse tips, domestic premises, and industrial premises. So basically, any sensitive environment, you will be able to use this product. If we look at the application rate according to the label of Quickbayt, so firstly, it's registered for houseflies. Then for spray-on application, you mix 62.5 grams on 1 liter of water, and that will cover 25 square meters ground area. If you look at the paint application, again, it's 62.5 grams of Quickbayt spray granules, and you mix it onto 50 liters of warm water, and again, that will give you a coverage of 25 square meters ground area. Okay, so imidacloprid, it works different than the rest of the chemical groups and insecticides available on the market. And the active ingredient with a different mode of action. Imidacloprid works as a receptor agonist. It's proven efficacy against various fly species, control flies that are resistant to other insect flies. So if you have a look here at this picture, you can basically see that the green one is the organophosphate sprays and your carbamates, and they basically work on your HCHE receptors, and then your blue one, which is your neonicotinoids, and that's going to bind to your ACH receptors, and then 75% of all other insecticides available on the market basically just binds to the sodium channel, and that you can see is the red one with the red circle around it. So yeah, different mode of action in imidacloprid, and that's also why it's so effective against resistant insects as well. So we see Quickbayt contains tryptophan, which attracts the flies towards the area. Once the flies landed on the area or sits on the area, it will reach the surface or even suck on the surface, which is very palatable for the flies. And then your active ingredient, imidacloprid, will deliver a quick knockdown between 1 to 2 minutes after digesting of the chemical. So you can just see nice pictures, and I'm sure everybody is familiar with this site. So after 1 to 2 minutes of in contact with the insecticide, your flies will start acting strangely, and they will, in the end of the result, they will start spinning, and then they will die afterwards as well. So just between 1 to 2 minutes, you will see dead flies falling around. Just a field result. So before treatment, day 1, there was 100% flies in the area, and then day 1 it was reduced, and you can see how far it was reduced, and then it keeps on reducing the flies over 7 days, 14 days, and even up to about 40 days. There was a reduction in flies. Okay, so if we look at the application of Quickbayt. So on the label, again, as we mentioned again, it's at 62.4 grams per liter of water to cover 25 square meters for spray application and for paint application. So how to apply Quickbayt spray? Fly to the wall above animal reaches. So just where your animals can't reach anymore, that's a great place to spray or paint on your application. Apply up to 2.5 meters height. So why not higher than 2.5 meters? It's actually very simple. If you look at the flight pattern of your flies, they won't fly higher than 2.5 meters. So you can fly at any surface at above the animals to a height of about 2.5 meters. Higher than that, your flies is not going to reach the area. Apply where flies are, sorry, let's get that back again. Apply where flies are found in high numbers on the walls, tables, equipment, etc. So wherever the flies accumulate, that will be a perfect place to apply your solution. On average, this will sum up about 30% of the available wall space of your stable. So if we look at the paint application, so we set on the label the application rate is 62.5 grams on a liter for spray, and then 62.5 grams on 50 ml of water to paint on. But the pack size available in your country is 100 gram sachet. So how do you use this without wasting the product? So you take 100 grams you take the complete sachet, which is 100 grams, and you mix it into 80 ml of warm water. Why it needs to be warm is just for the granules just to dissolve fast, and then your mixture will cover 40 square meters. So we'll deliver some fast lockdown on flies, fast fly reduction within hours to 1 day, and efficacy up to 8 weeks even under poor sanitation. And you can see in the pictures above here, it's easy to mix, and it's also easy to paint on. If you mix this in 80 ml, it will create like a paste, and then it's easy to paint onto surfaces. And then remember, when applying this paste, especially in areas where there's animals, you can apply it to draw away the fly from the animals towards the area that you've treated. Okay. If you look at the spray application, you're going to use your whole sachet, which is 100 grams in 1.5 liter of water, and again it's going to deliver a coverage of 40 square meters. And then in this picture where the gentleman is spraying the area, you can see he's doing like small circles. So it's easier to do lots of small areas, than just 1 or 2 big areas. You want to create a couple of areas where the flies would accumulate, and that will give you a good result at the end of the day. Okay, so outside, if you look at your outside perimeters, again, you can spray it on your outside walls. Especially in the morning, you will find the areas where the sun in the morning, that's always a great area to treat, because that's where your flies accumulate in the morning. And then also your afternoon sun again will be a perfect area to spray or to paint on, to just draw your flies to that area as well. Then also it's effective on all types of surfaces. Again, you want to draw the flies away from your animals, so wherever flies are a nuisance, you can paint or create your spot treatment areas, or even if it's high infested areas, you can treat the whole area, and that will draw the flies away from your animals, and then get rid of them in that matter. Also it's also suitable to spray on plastic areas, even on tarps or vinyl covers. So any type of surface, concrete, plastic, bricks, even floors, you can spray it on any type of surfaces. Okay, so treatable surfaces. So again, where to apply it. Not on entire wall spaces, so again for sport treatments only. And this is not a very it's a very, it can be costly if you're going to cover the whole area with Quickbayt. So you just want to create spot treatments and just draw the flies towards an area and then kill them. And then also have a look again at where your flies is accumulating, especially on ceilings. And there's also a couple of things that will draw flies towards an area. One of them are also natural light or even UV light. So that's the areas that you want to treat. And then remember we said not higher than 2.5 meters. And then out of sight of out of reach of your animals. And then avoid animal feed as well, and avoid water supply as well. Also, good to treat different types of layers. You can, again, normally it's easy to start from outside and work yourself in towards. You can have a spot treatments on the walls, even on the floor areas, underneath areas where there's a lot of breeding areas, especially when manure is also accumulated. So all those areas where flies accumulate and breed, that will be perfect spots to treat with Quickbayt. Okay, so surfaces to be treated, other surfaces, then UV light will also attract them. Then color as well, you will see black, even blue and yellow, and that attracts flies as well. And then of course your odors will also attract flies. And then sex pheromones is what we've got already in Quickbayt will also attract flies. So when you look in the area, also use those natural lights which appears at your windows. So you can basically paint your windows frames, or you can even spray it over windows, and that will also, then you've got your natural light that attracts the flies, plus you've got the sex pheromone in Quickbayt that will attract the flies towards the area. Door frames always is a good area to treat as well. Bright spots, again, we said UV is attracting them, and also sunlight. So wherever it's warm and there's sunlight, that's where you'll find your flies. And then do perimeter walls, and then manure collection points, definitely that's just that odor that's also attracting them, and that's definitely a good area to treat your fly population. When treating, also just keep in mind, always hygiene and sanitation is a key point to look at. If an area is too dusty or too dirty, try to clean as much as possible off. Remember your dust just absorbs your chemical, and then also it breaks down your chemical as well. The triticine part also in Quickbayt doesn't last very long as well. So dust is just going to break it down just faster. So just make sure your area that you've treated is not too dirty. And so here you can see a couple of nice photos as well. Vertical surfaces, try to avoid dust and dirt. Like we said, just try to keep it as clean as possible, because your dust is definitely a factor that will make your product not as effective, and it will break down your chemical. And also you will lose your triticine part very fast. Okay, so safety is always key. The spawning safety rules have to be regarding during application. Apply outside of reach of animals. Yes, there is Bitrex in the product, which will also assist them not to get in contact with the area that you've treated, but just try to keep it also just away from the animals. Do not apply paint on baits on surfaces which are regularly touched during daily work. And then apply without containing foodstuff and drinking flows as well. So if we look at the efficacy and the results of Quickbayt, firstly, Quickbayt is effective against most of the sucking flying insects, especially your Musca domestica, which is your housefly, and also on your biting insects, like your horseflies. Okay, so just a couple of more species that's Quickbayt is affected on. So first thing is your vinegar fly, your green bottle fly, which is a very common fly that you will basically find, especially when there's dead animals lying around, or dead feces or manure, you will definitely find your green bottle fly, stable fly, and then of course the common garbage fly as well. This is a nice photo of an area that was not treated with Quickbayt, or before treated with Quickbayt. You can see that the flies accumulating on the pipe and on the screen at the back there. And then afterwards, after it was treated with Quickbayt, you can see it's almost like 98 to 99%. If you can see, and there's a couple of flies still flying around or sitting on the pipe, but you can see how effective this product can be and is. This is also a nice one. You can see how the flies sit on the wall just above the pigs, and then also you can see also how the flies accumulate on the animals as well. So a good area to be treated would be that wall just above them, where we can see they're accumulating, and then that will of course then draw the flies away from the pigs towards that area that you've treated, and then you will be able to successfully reduce your fly population. Just an interesting fact as well, if you look at your milk production with your cows, flies can reduce your milk production up to about 40%, because they constantly swiping away the flies, and that also creates stress for them, and it will have a 40% reduction in flies. So even with any type of, even with your pigs, any type of animals, flies can be a huge problem. It's not just a nuisance, but it also can be difficult on, it can reduce your income as well on your milk or your meat as well. And then just after you've treated the area, the next slide will show you how clean. You can see there's hardly any flies available after the treatment. One or two sitting still on the pigs, but that wall almost is completely clean. So that's exactly what you want to see. Okay, so visual effect against flies in stables with excellent to moderated sanitary conditions. So like I've mentioned, sanitation and hygiene is always the first step of pest control. So in this area where it's mostly under control, you can see how fast it definitely reduced the fly population. And after treated, you can see day 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's hardly any flies left. This is in ideal conditions. Under poor sanitary conditions, fly control with adulticide alone may not be sufficient. So you can just imagine areas where the sanitation and hygiene is not in place, and there's a lot of breeding areas, there's a lot of harborage areas, and there's a lot of areas where they can basically feed on as well. So then you can sit with areas where there's breeding going on, and the source of your problem is going to be huge. So you need to look at all areas. Firstly, start with your hygiene and sanitation. You see all these maggots here, which is going to turn into the adult flies soon, and then start breeding again, and you're going to sit with a huge problem at the end of the day. So sanitation and hygiene is always your first step. Couple of areas, and this again, especially your inspections, have a look in your corners. This is where normally you will find your areas, and this is again because of results of poor hygiene and ineffective sanitation. Okay, so fly maggots in Pretoria, the maggots hatch about 12 to 24 hours after deposited after eggs and develop within 5 to 8 days in a manure, depending on the temperature and the nutrition contents of the manure. Putrescence takes place in putrarium and lasts another 3 to 4 days. and then up to 10,000 maggots may develop in only 1 kilogram of manure.
Can songs play Quickbayt on them or inside direct on the animal? That is number one question. Number two, like how many hours can allow to enter after spraying a room? That's my question too. Thank you.
Okay. Basically.
Thanks, Henry. So we go to the next question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Henry. My name is SHONEYE student from Zenith Pest Control. From all indications we saw from the screen, there is no indication that Quickbayt could be used in canteens where food is being prepared or processes. I work in a facility where we have challenges with flies, particularly where they prepare their food. Even when again is quite good, we still have issues with flies coming into the food preparation area. Can we make use of Quickbayt in those areas, probably applying it to the walls or surfaces where materials are kept, so that to prevent or eliminate flies in this locality?
Okay, Henry, to address this question, Quickbayt is used both for public hygiene and rural hygiene. So basically, most of your presentation was tailored towards rural hygiene. So we're talking about the public hygiene aspect. Can it be used in restaurants and food preparation areas?
Yes, definitely, and yes, good question. I was hoping somebody was going to ask that question, so thank you so much for that question. And yes, so remember, Quickbayt contains piperine, which is a sexual hormone attractant. So you don't want to paint areas inside, let's say, a kitchen or a restaurant, because you basically will draw the flies from outside in towards the building, and we don't want to do that. So again, what you can do is outside perimeters and spot treatments wherever there's a lot of flies accumulating outside. Yes, great area to do spot treatment, and then your refuse areas. Definitely, I would definitely use a lot of Quickbayt in your refuse areas. And even in my experience, even if you scatter a little of Quickbayt out in, let's say, in a dustbin or in a refuse area, and they will also go sit on the granules even in liquid, and then they will die as well. But try not to use it inside, because remember, you're going to draw the flies from outside in towards the building. So, but refuse areas outside and the limited treatment, spot treatments outside, yes, definitely.
Hello, Mr. Harry. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you very much. My name is Shabat Taiwo. My question is, in a food preparation area, number one, the ratio, because there's a cow milk area, and then there's a food industry area, like where they are prepared wheat and pieces, and then there's some area like this beverage area. What's the ratio you're going to use around those areas? Because vegetation are different from those areas.
Okay, so yeah, indoor definitely you can what solutions you can apply outside from the fences. You can do your bags, your red tops. We're familiar with red tops, so it's bags that you hang out, and it also just draws the flies again away from the building. Look at your refuse areas, look at your sanitation, look at your hygiene, and start outside, and then you walk yourself inside. Inside, UV lights is very popular. I don't know how popular it is in your country, but UV lights, especially in food areas or restaurants, your UV light draws the flies towards the light, and then you've got that glue board inside, which the insect also gets trapped on the board, so it doesn't. There's no cross-contamination where a fly can get killed. Don't use zappers. I'm sure you know all the zappers where you basically just zap the flies, and then there's parts of the insects flying all over the area, and it can land into your food. So UV lights with glue boards is very popular. Some areas they allow you to use the dispensers also. It's your canisters deliver a small particle size between 5 and 50 microns. So that builds up into the air so that it's not going to land on your food, but it will repel the flies as well, and also will kill the flies as well. So that's also a good solution for indoors. And then perimeter treatments. Remember, use your natural light like your windowsills and your windows, and even your UV lights and bulbs. You can spray with a long-lasting insecticide, which will also assist you in controlling the flies. But don't use Quickbayt inside, rather use it outside, spot treatments and your refuse areas. But yeah, there's a couple of solutions, and try to use as much as possible to use the solution. Even air curtains, window screens where you can place it in front of the open windows. That's also just going to keep out the flies. But try to use as much as possible that's available to you to successfully control them.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Henry. We still have another question. Meanwhile, before the question comes,
we have a question online.
Yeah. Ocean, you help us handle the online, but let's take the last question in the room first before you go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, Henry. My name is Abidola from Pest Masters International. Okay, so the last question you answered, I think you kind of touched a bit on the question I was going to ask, and it's about the lockdown period from the time of contact with Quickbayt, the time of contact with Quickbayt and the lockdown period. Okay, so we've had this issue in some of the facilities, that we handle, especially the food handling areas where the fly comes in contact. From your presentation, you said there's going to be like 1 minute before the active ingredient becomes leather and not step down. So within the time, so they can still fly even though they've come in contact with Quickbayt. So now there are some. Okay, we impregnated the net close to the food handling area, and then the fly perched on it. The thing is not leather yet, and then goes straight on the food where they are making the chicken or whatever, and then die there. So do you have any advice, or I know you mentioned it this last, but I didn't get it clearly, so I don't know if you can just emphasize on what you think can be done to avoid having flies contaminating while they are trying to die. Yeah, thank you.
If they just land on the surface, they will lick it. 5 seconds later, they will start spinning, and then they will fall. So just try to keep that spot away from where it can land on your food. That's the first thing. And then where there is food, again, rather use like your UV lights, which basically captures the flies as well. Or even try to keep the flies out of that area with your screens and your air curtains and all other equipment that you've got. Also, just an interesting fact as well. A lot of people will also ask you, that fly that was contaminated with Quickbayt now, they dropped, and then chickens will feed on this dead flies. Is it safe? Yes, it's perfectly safe for them as well. So, but yeah, just try to keep it away from areas where you can pop into food.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. We'll take the questions online first. We still have one question in the house, but let's take the online participants.
Sure.
Yes. We have an online question asking what is the residual efficacy for outdoors, particularly in restaurants and other commercial areas?
100%. Okay, so again, it depends on your surfaces that you've treated. Also, is it very dusty? Is it clean surfaces? Also, does it get washed off? Your UV light can also break down your chemical. But just the easy answer is it can last up to 8 weeks. That's the immediate culprit part. So that's your systemic insecticide which delivers the lockdown effect. That can last up to 8 weeks. But remember your ficacine part, which is the sex pheromone part, that doesn't last 8 weeks. So in most cases you will just get like up to about a week. The ficacine will still be active and it will still draw the flies away from an area to that area that you've treated. So you can repeat this process, especially when it's high infestated areas, every week to every second week, depending on the infestation. But if you just leave it and the flies still land on that area that you've treated, it will still be affected for up to about 8 weeks.
Hello.
No, no problem.
Hello. From your presentation, and you said that the surface, the wall in the target area, you can spray. In the area where there are like a powder food industry area, in their warehouse, finishing good area, finishing good area, the warehouse is jam-packed. How do you go about that? And there's a lot of light inside the warehouse. Finishing good area.
Sorry, they are finishing. Clarify for me, please.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, what I'm trying to say is the target area surfaces the wall, and then there's a finishing good area where a powder milk industry or flour powder industry. What can you do to make it to spray that area? Because their warehouse is always jam-packed. They don't arrange the warehouse accordingly.
Okay,
there's a lot of fight there.
Okay, Henry, if I can, with regards to the dairy production site, where you have finished goods. Now, in the finished good area, and if you want to control flies, how do you go about it when there is a fly infestation?
Sorry, I'm still don't understand the question. So you say it's
okay. He was asking a question with regards to the dairy production.
Okay.
You know, in the dairy production sites, we have where you have the finished goods. So the question now is, in the case of infestation and the finished goods. Sorry, my mic. I need to.
And it's going to be in confined areas. So again, there you can again use a couple of application methods and equipment again. So if it's a sealed area where you basically you can use from your UV lights again. UV lights always is recommended in those areas. Secondly, you can do perimeter treatments. Again, have a look at where there's natural light that will attract the flies towards.
The affairs of the Pest Control Association in Nigeria. You're welcome, sir.
My fathers in the profession, my sisters, my brothers, my ogas. And it's nice that this is a gathering of professionals, and that shows how much we appreciate the year gone into Envu, and the same relationship that we've had with the beer we have extended to Envu, and Envu has been very reciprocal. I want to use this opportunity to also thank the management and staff of Envu for always supporting the association. And of recent, You know that we have an upcoming program, World Mosquito Day, that's coming up on the 20th. It's always celebrated all over the world on the 20th. And Envu has been very, very supportive. They're one of our greatest sponsors. Thank you very much. A round of applause. So on behalf of the EXCO and members of Pest Control Association all over the world, you know, yeah, we have members all over the world scattered, and some of them probably are online with us because they're all informed about this program. We want to let you know that this product of yours, amongst others, is a product that is very familiar to a number of us. Quickbayt has been very, very supportive in my business. And what I mean by my business is the pest control business, because personally, we have a lot of clients in the food processing area, and also the hotels as well, restaurants and all that. And of course, you know, this part of the world, one of the biggest issues we have is fly. And of course, apart from it being a contaminant to food, it also carries some diseases. And Quickbayt has really helped in that area. And it is quite interesting now that Quickbayt is even being made more easier to apply with the spray. And I'm very excited about this new presentation of the product, and we believe that it will go a long way into answering pest questions from our members. That said, I can see that there are quite a number of practitioners here, and some of you probably don't even know about the association. That's the body of pest control practitioners in Nigeria, especially in the private sector. I can see a lot of PECAN members here. I'm sure that there are some that I don't know, and I'm sure that quite a number of you would like to know more about us, about Pest Control Association of Nigeria. You have the PRO here, Mr. Labisi. Can I just enter? That's Mr. Labisi. So you can, amongst quite a number of the General Secretary is here too, Mr. The Fortune, everybody forgets his name. People remember him by his, the name of his company, the Fortune, that's Ayodiji. And the Vice President is also here, one of our Vice Presidents, VP1. And we have our Baba, we have our Baba in the association, that's Baba Shomoyi, that in Yoruba they will say Timothy Towo that I use all. Can somebody translate that? So that's our father in the profession. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give all your support, and let's spread the gospel of Quickbayt. A lot of people say ignorance is a very serious disease, it kills. A lot of people have these problems with flies and they just don't know. So please, let's spread the word. Quickbayt is in a new presentation, and it makes it easier to apply. And just like a lot has been said about the product, it is as good as it is said, and we want to pray that Quickbayt becomes a household name in the nearest future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A round of applause again to the President for these assuring statements. We want to say thank you very much, sir, and for us as Envu, we will keep on with the collaboration and to make sure that we come up with good innovations that will make your work easier. Thank you very much. Now, in the next session, we'll be going into the session of a goodwill message. I have 2-3 people in the house that will tell us their Quickbayt story. And I will be starting with the first Vice President of PECAN, Mr. Oluwayemi Taiwo. Let's give him a round of applause as he gives us his Quickbayt story.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's nice to be here. I came in contact with Quickbayt about 3 or 3.5 years ago. Then I think Bayer was the marketer of Quickbayt. That time, even we handled one of the biggest hatchery in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria. And we had this issue of flies. We tried so many things, did so many things, the problem was still there. So I came in contact with Quickbayt through harvest feed then. And it was not as if it was that easy to apply it. That company, we had an insurance of about, then it was 10 million. So when I told them, I introduced, because you don't just go there to apply just anything. They asked me to increase our, insurance to 100 million. I said, where do I get that? I assured them, they already know about Bayer. They know Bayer products. But they said, because as at then, to be frank, it was not registered with NAFDAC. They just brought the samples, and due to the enormity of the problem, we decided to risk it, let me use that word, to apply it. They now said, if anything happens to their bed, you know, ashes now, dead birds, rotten eggs, the whole place will just be smelling. And there are so much flies. I told them I can have an insurance of 100 million. I won't get that. We finally agreed to 50 million. That was the risk. It was a risk, let me say. But I assure you, we were not disappointed. Yes. Please, I didn't really get that then. It was like just mix it with the right ratio in warm water. And we did it. Beloved, it works. That is all I can say. Thank you very much.
So we go on to the next person giving us this goodwill message. I call on this Rotimax.
Good afternoon, once again, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. All right, so briefly, without taking our time, I just want to add to what my organs have come here to do. My first encounter with Rotimax was almost the same time with my organ that just left the podium about, I think, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years ago. Sorry, Quickbayt. And to be honest, peculiarities of pest challenge has nothing to do with sometimes maybe the sector, or we know that in this part of the world, or this zone where we belong to, houseflies is always a challenge. Almost like the hotel we have now, they definitely have a bar, they have a lounge. Even if it's a private home, they have maybe a yard, they have somewhere, a playground, you know, and everybody's always complaining, you always have these issues of flies. So the first thing we noticed then was that gave it edge over other products we were using before then was, one, it was odorless, colorless, and from all indication, the residual effect was far, in fact, more than any other product that we can see in the country. As at then, you know, Quickbayt is a product you can use, and this and this and this after, we're still seeing the effect, you know, depending on how it's being applied. There was a time it became so scarce for like maybe six months or thereabouts. It was not available anywhere. In fact, it was so bad that we could not get anywhere, which is we were so desperate. We even had to go to Côte d'Ivoire to bring in through the land border, through a dealer over there, because we were so used to it. We deal with a lot of injuries and all that. Until date, Mr. Femi is there. He can attest to the fact that we're a regular customer because of the efficacy and because of the fact that it has also enriched our business. Because as a pest management professional, our product determines how far we do or how far we go in the business. But if you don't have access to good products, there's no magic that you can do. So I'm here validating what the previous speakers have said about Quickbayt, that up to now, up to date, remains the best fly product anybody can talk about in the country. And for us that have tested this, we can attest to this. I mean, I'm sure of that. For some of us that have used it, no doubt about that. So for some of us that have not tried it, I can assure that we will not regret trying it. Thank you once again for the privilege.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rotimax. So the last person to give the goodwill message on Quickbayt will be our Baba in the house.
Thank you. Let me first give kudos to Henry. He has been so sincere about this aspect of our job. He spoke vigorously about sanitation. Sanitation is key to all these things that we are talking about. And he has also warned us, it is not a thing of the inside, it's a thing of the outside. That's how we have been using it. And it works perfectly. Ignorance is no defense in law. If you don't know something, ask question. Somebody will know, but if you keep quiet and destroy somebody's good, you pay dearly for it. And when you fail in one place, you fail in a million places. So we need this aspect of our job. Quickbayt is the only one we know now against flies. If you use it appropriately, you will have your answer. God bless you.
Now, without further ado, I'll be calling on the Market Development Manager for SSA Private Business, Sarah De Souza, as she comes online to give the closing remarks. Sarah?
Thank you very, very much, Yvonne. Hi, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure to be especially with you today. Thank you to all of you for participating in this Quickbayt launch. It has a fast background and it has a long journey has been heard from my colleague Henry. It is a flexible product that can be used in two types of applications, on spray, with spray or on the paint on. You have heard how you can, the dosage that needs to be used. It is coming in 100 grams sachet, so it's really convenient. Once tested, you will see how Quickbayt meets your expectations. Really, you will see that by yourself. You have heard the message from the people in the room. You will see that by yourself. So Envu, yes, we are the leader, one of the leaders in the environmental science business, and we have an objective to bring innovation in the Nigerian market. Quickbayt is an innovation, and this product is only available with Clinol. So you have the opportunity today to buy it directly from them. So if you need it, please reach out to Mr. Onide and his team, or also to Yvonne. I really would like again to thank you. Thank you for your time. The event will continue with the photo session and also with the launch. So please enjoy. Remember that we Envu and Tenor are available. So if you have any more questions, please let us know. We also ask you have the thank you to the card. And so you're going to have a survey, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So we will ask you to please respond to the question so then we will know what you need to improve. So yeah, you can ask me some questions to Yvonne if you need more information. Again, I would like to thank you and say bye from all the Envu members here. Thank you again. Bye.
The session is wrapped up. We'll be having a photo session. You can see behind you there is a backdrop there where the photo session will be done. And then after that, if you've not had your tea break, you can go out for your tea break, after which we go for lunch. Thank you. And then there is a good news for today. The distributor has agreed to do a 10% discount for everybody that is willing to buy Quickbayt today. After today, the discount ceases to exist. Thank you.